Bitcoin is going down. Ring the alarm bells, man. Let's take a look at this dip right here. Can it go down even further, or is this something that you just should buy? Let's take a look at what I think is going on right here. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the video, turn the bell notification on, check out the Patreon down below, and let's get right into the content, man. So Bitcoin is down with 7% so far. Now, on the weekly basis, that's of course nothing. If you look at it on the daily candle, yeah, yesterday from top to wick bottom, we were down like 9%. And it's crazy how people can freak out over a move of 9%. We are back under 70K. And I think that's the biggest psychological barrier that people have right now. We were above 70K and now we're below it. And that feels like a lot, while it's actually not a lot. Can you imagine once we break 100K and we stay there for a while and we go below 100K again? People gonna think it is all over. All over. So my first thing that I would like to say is don't freak out over this kind of stuff. Second, hey, it might not be everything, right? There could be more of a dip, correction, crash, disaster, or maybe not. So let's take a look what the possibilities actually are, and also let's take a look, like the thumbnail says, like be careful with certain altcoins. You don't want to buy everything just on the market because it is cheap, because there is sometimes also a reason why things are cheap. Now, an interesting tweet by Boom, and I said this a couple of times on the channel as well. Like, if you look at the last bear market, the corrections were regularly 40%, right? Or at least the bull market in 2017. 2021 was around 30% occasionally, right? But people thought it was over, it was over, it was over, it was over, it was over. And that was actually in the middle of a parabolic bull market where we went from like $160 was the low to $20,000. But how many times people thought it was over and they panic sold and they missed out on that whole run? Now, we are not even seeing that yet. Like, and he is comparing 2016 to 2023 while looking at the 4-year cycle. That doesn't even really make sense. I think that this real parabolic run is yet to happen. But still, if we look at the corrections we had so far, 22%, 20%, 22%, 20%, 7%, 10%. And people also freak out over it. Some people, I don't know, they feel like, okay, maybe we are topped out right now. Maybe it ran too hard. Maybe we should now sell. Be a little careful with that. Like I did say on the channel this week, is it's important for us to close above 90s, 69, 70,000, give or take. Why? Because that's where the previous all-time high is. And if we manage to go above it, retest, and then go up, that's beautiful. That's actually what you want to see. You don't want to see it go whoosh. That's too parabolic. And then there is a very good chance that you get an insane flash crash when nobody expects it. And that's where the liquidations come from. That's why your portfolio actually turns down 40, 50% in a week. And that's scary. And that's really scary. So what you want to see is a healthy market where we go up, retest, have a correction, right? Go up again, retest, does stuff like this. So far, we have been already going pretty much too parabolic, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, we went up, sideways, up, sideways, slash down, up, hard, sideways. But from here, basically since the ETFs, it's nothing but up, right? We had one red week of not even 1% down. Now we have one red week of same, not even a percent down, right? So in all honesty, it would be good. What I think would be best in this case, but you know, that's not, we don't have a choice. But what would be best is if we just go sideways for a couple of weeks and maybe until the halving, right? And then go up, build a base like we did right here, or right here, or here, well, here, right? That's what you want to see. If we now do this, like I said, then the chance of getting a huge crash is way bigger. And yeah, that's for a lot of people, of course, not what you want to see. Now, should you buy the dip? That depends. There's not a answer that is correct. For the people, I would say, that have no position in crypto because they just came into crypto or capo, man, I mean, it's better to buy it now than here, right? But the difference is not that big. We only have to go up with like 7, 8%, and we're back at the all time high again, right? So, like, you're still buying the high basically. So, if anything, I would say I'd rather take some profits here than like if you really bought it extremely low at least, than buying too much. For the people that already have a position, I would say, is this really worth buying it if you already the chance that your average entry is lower than where we are right now? It's quite high, right? So then I would say, what's the point of buying it right here? Better save that money actually and wait for a normal correction, right? Like said, a 20, 30% correction. Again, that stuff happens, right? So it would be very weird if we don't. Well, it depends if we get the correction from this point. But if we do, then I would say, hey, somewhere between 58 and 51K would make a lot of sense, right? And I know a lot of people be like, what, 50? But again, if you look at this, look at the corrections we got once, two, three, four, 5 times in a matter of a year, right? In 1 year, we got 5 times a correction of 30 or 40%. Is there like now we cannot even get one of 20, 30%? Come on, stay realistic. It could happen. And the chance that we will revisit somewhere in the 50s, it is definitely there, right? What's also possible, and that's what, of course, I don't know, is we retest, bounce, go up to 90K, and then get a 30% correction, right? Yeah, and then we're back at where we are right now, for example. Also great, right? But that 30% correction, I can already tell you, it is going to happen. This is nothing yet. So if you want to buy that dip eventually, what you want to buy, in my opinion, but again, that's my opinion. I'm not saying that that's the correct answer. Bitcoin is not really worth it right now. Can we go to 300K? Yeah, we could. It could happen definitely. But what do you think is going to happen to the good altcoins once Bitcoin goes to 300K? These altcoins go crazy, right? Crazy. So Bitcoin is already sitting at all-time highs. Most altcoins are not, right? If you look at a couple of altcoins that I am looking at right now, so the altcoin backs that I like, so for example, AVAX, not at an all-time high, right? IMX, not at an all-time high. Some are, like Injective, crazy, right? But Trader Joe, not at an all-time high. Chainlink isn't there. Matic isn't there. Polka Starter isn't there. Volker Forged isn't there. Ronin is there. CDFI isn't, like, overall, most altcoins are not there. And you can take all these altcoins and put them into one chart, and then you get the others chart, and then you can clearly see, like, hey, there are outperformers, there are underperformers, but on average, the altcoin market still has a 50% move to go to get to the all-time high. So the risk reward from this point is for Bitcoin not really worth it, in my opinion. Therefore, I would say it's time to look at altcoins. And tomorrow or the day after, I'm gonna drop a video about the 10 altcoins that I think are worth buying when it comes to best risk reward. So I'm not gonna sit there and say, like, you should buy all of this crap to make 100x, because that's, of course, if you want to buy something that could actually do a potential 100x, that's an insane amount of risk as well, right? And I can make that video once if you want me, let me know in the comments. But for me, it's like, okay, also not losing money is, yeah, that matters, man. So, but I'm gonna drop that video. So stick around, like this video. Come on, let's at least go with 150 likes. Is that possible? Then I know that I'm not doing it for shit, right? But today I'll rather show you what altcoins not to buy, because that's just as important, right? If you want to know, like, oh, okay, I can buy these altcoins, great. But there are also things you do not want to put your money in. And there's a very simple way of finding that out. One is, of course, the market. This is the altcoin market, right? So if you take it from the bottom to where we are right now, it's up 4.5x. Let's say 5x. So if you look at certain altcoins right now, you at least want to be in altcoins that did around the same or more. If they went up 3x, also fine. But if some altcoins from the bottom to where we are right now did like nothing or a 2x or something like that, then it's maybe not really worth it, right? So I was looking at this, for example. I don't know what happened here, but I'm a big hacks hater, as a lot of people know. A lot of people, I'm not a hater, but it's just always a great example of a piece of shit that you don't want to get into. And I talked about it all the way, and I got a lot of shit for it. Yeah, well, congratulations for sticking around right there. Everybody made money and you're sitting at all-time lows. What the hell? Be realistic right now, right? But if you look at this, for example, the whole market went up 5x. This is sitting at the low, right? It even made a low this week. So this one that makes you lose money, right? So you don't want to get into stuff like that. And I think that I spoke about this before as well, and it was kind of the same story. Also, people felt like, oh, fuck you with your fucking content. Yeah, thanks. But if you look at this, like, look how hard this went down and look how low it is getting right now, right? You don't want to get into this. Yeah, from the low, right? From the low, it is up 120%. So it is yet still a big underperformer. But you could say, like, hey, it's up 2.5x. Yeah, it does something. I mean, Bitcoin just did a 4x. Come on, if your low cap altcoin can't at least do the same, it sucks. But it's at least up that much. Yeah, but you also want to understand where it came from. I don't know if this chart takes it all the way back, though. But if you look at this, it went down 99.94%. 99.94%. Okay? Let me put it a little bit in perspective for you guys. 99.94%. If that would have happened to Bitcoin, then Bitcoin was sitting at $40. Okay? That's how bad some altcoins are. So stay away from that. Okay? There, of course, there's always a chance that an altcoin like that feels like, okay, bam, let's go up again. But there is a reason they get slapped down so hard. Most altcoins that get wrecked that hard don't come up again. So you can, of course, go into that part of crypto and be like, okay, who knows? Be prepared to get completely wrecked and miss out on the stuff that is actually going up. Also, what you want to do, and this is really what I said a lot, but this is probably the most easy and important thing to do, is look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, right? And a lot of people always feel like, I don't care. But you should, because it determines if you lose or make money. Very simple. What do I mean by this? If you look at AVAX, for example, right? AVAX against Bitcoin, it went up 160% from the bottom, right? And if, at least until where it is right now, if you take it from the bottom until where it went, 280%. So AVAX is strong against Bitcoin. So even though Bitcoin is going up 4x, AVAX is going up against Bitcoin. So AVAX on the dollar pair is even way more strong. That's what you want. You want coins that are strong against Bitcoin. Because if they are strong against Bitcoin right now, hey, what do you think is going to happen with AVAX USDT once Bitcoin goes to its new all-time high, whatever that might be, right? Even if it just stays here and Bitcoin does a 3x, AVAX does a 3x with it. If this goes back to the all-time high, it's a 3x from here. If Bitcoin also does a 3x, that's double the gains, right? Not even double, right? It's triple. That's beautiful. If you, for example, look at Quant, right? This is a coin that you don't want to be in. Right, so you can, of course, look at Quant USDT. And I know a lot of people like Quant and they can come at me right now. Oh, you don't know about the utility. I don't give a fuck about the utility. I'm here to make money. I'm not in for the tag, right? If you look at Quant, this chart, at best, it's doing nothing, right? If you take it from this low right here, it is up with like 50%. What? Like, why would you want to be into that, right? Again, if you look at it like Bitcoin, against Bitcoin, it's still going down and it made a new low. And it's down 84% against Bitcoin. So if the returns for Quant are less than the returns for Bitcoin are, but obviously the risk of Bitcoin is lower, then why would you step into an altcoin that is high risk and lower reward? Right? That's how you want to look at it. Another coin that I'm into the let me get some shit phase right now. Another coin that's about the same when it comes to that is this one, XRP. XRP is a coin with a diehard community, right? A lot of people be like XRP army and da. Well, it's not that strong of an army. Sorry, no offense. But XRP isn't doing shit. Yeah, I mean, from the bottom until where we are right now, it's up 2x. Okay, yeah, so what? Bitcoin is up 4x, 5x. So again, why would you take higher risk for lower rewards? If you look at XRP on its Bitcoin pair, you will see that this thing, you know, even though the price of XRP on its dollar pair is up, on its Bitcoin pair it's going down because Bitcoin is going up harder, right? So therefore you see that again, XRP, and let's take it from the last bear market, which was here, it's now down 78% against Bitcoin, right? It's weak against Bitcoin. And that should be the rule that you should always apply. Is it weak against Bitcoin? Don't get into it. Again, you're taking more risk for lower rewards. You get more rewards if you just buy Bitcoin. But the thing is, people always feel like, yeah, but altcoins are more exciting. It can do a 10x. Yeah, I mean, if you write it all the way down, you can eventually maybe make a 10x, but that's only to make up for all the losses and the profits that you missed out on because you were in this altcoin all the time when it was going down. Matter of fact, if you look at it like this, it's been going down against Bitcoin since April 2017, and it's already down 96%. So for the last 7 years, it wasn't worth it to buy XRP. Very simple. If you bought XRP in the last 7 years, you lost or missed out, or both. And you can also, what you can always do is, in a matter of perspective as well, go to your altcoin chart, right? Here we go. Wait. Go to your altcoin chart on the dollar pair. And so XRP USDT. Is there a chart that takes it back even further? And again, this is not to bash XRP or whatever. That's totally not what it's all about. Let me check just what chart has the most information. Here we go. It's not to bash XRP or whatever, right? You can use this on any altcoin, right? This is just the example that I come up with right now. You can also overlay Bitcoin on it, right? And it's for some reason not working. Here you go. So the orange line is Bitcoin, right? So what you can see is here they moved pretty correlated, and XRP outperformed Bitcoin by far because it was new, it had the hype, it was an innovative piece of technology, which it isn't right now, right? You should also understand we are now 7 years later. There are projects out there that do it better, right? Very simple. But overall, they moved correlated. Bitcoin went up, XRP went up, Bitcoin went down, XRP went down. But here, it is changing, right? We went into a bull market, XRP went up again. Bear market, XRP went down again. But now, XRP is basically at the same level as where it was in April 2022, right? So for the last 2 years, XRP hasn't done anything. Yeah, it went lower and it went higher, but it's at the same place as where it was 2 years ago. While Bitcoin was sitting at 35K back then, and it's now sitting at 70, right? So you could have bought XRP right here. You put $1,000 into it. Today you would have $1,000. If you put $1,000 here in Bitcoin, today you would have $2,000. Very simple, right? And even if you compare this place right here and this place right here, it's totally different because if you put $1,000 right here into Bitcoin, today you would have $5,000. Almost. If you put $1,000 in XRP right here, you would have $2,000 right now, right? So this is an underperformer. So again, very simple. If you look like, hey, I want to buy the dip, look at altcoins that are strong against Bitcoin. And you can look at things and be like, oh yeah, but I understand where it can come from. You could look at a chart like this, XRP BTC, right? And be like, yeah, you know, it's so low right now. So if it does do this, then I make a lot of money. So I can still buy the lows. And that sounds tempting. But everything is going up and this one isn't. So isn't there a reason why it's not going up then? Right? It's like the lawsuit is over in this specific case, right? So you can put a narrative on it, but sometimes that doesn't mean anything as well. So you can look at it like that, but you know, there's always a reason why it's not going up. Now, you can, of course, look at the stronger altcoins. For example, let's take AVAX again. It's AVAX on its Bitcoin pair and be like, yeah, but you know what? In this case, I already missed out. It's already up 2.5x. Bitcoin is sitting at an all-time high and you are still having the chance to buy something just 2.5x from the bottom. That's not a bad deal in my opinion, right? Because here, for example, AVAX on its Bitcoin pair went up 27x. So, like 2.5, like, yeah, you didn't get the exact bottom in that case. So what? Pretty damn close, right? And it's a matter on the chart, on how you look at it. I mean, you can look at the chart on a regular scale, right? And then you see this, and you might be like, where's my line? My camera is always in front of it. And you might be like, this is the range, right? We have the low range, we have the high range. We are still in the range, right? So this is still an accumulation phase. And once it really breaks out, then we're going to make some bucks. So I would say look at things like this. Also Matic. This is a tough one, right? Because also it's been wrecked. It's getting wrecked against Bitcoin. Matic, heavy underperformer. If you are really in for the long term, you could say like, hey, top of the range, down side of the range, top, down, right? So it could go to the top again. Definitely could. It could. It doesn't have to happen because it just made a new low for the first time in 3 years, right? But even if it does go to the top, you gain like 260%, so 3.5x against Bitcoin, right? But this is such a long-term play, right? This goes back all the way 3 years ago, right? So by the time it gets there, you might have your 3.5x, but some altcoins that are outperforming, like Superverse, for example, if you look at this chart, these things might have gotten you way more, right? And that's the thing that, therefore, XRP is such a good example, is some people have too much patience, right? Patience is good to have in crypto. You need it, really. You need it. But some people, they wait for so long on something that's just simply not going to happen. So always look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, right? If it's going sideways, that's fine, right? Because if you do look at the Bitcoin dominance, what's happening, it went up, So altcoins on the Bitcoin pair went down over here, and this is now going sideways. So this is kind of a, reverse chart of that, right? So this is how an altcoin should look like on its Bitcoin pair, right? Down, sideways. Then it's acting normal. If it's going up, then it's an outperformer. But if it's still going down, then it's an underperformer. That's basically the cheat sheet, like if you want to put it like that. Right now, if you look at Trader Joe, for example, there's not the chart that takes it most back, but right, down, sideways. This is acting normal, right? In an alt season, Trader Joe could do this, and on the dollar pair, it could rip, right? If you look at Illuvium, also very good example. Just like everything else, went down, sideways. In an altcoin season, could rip. Interesting thing, by the way, I have an interview with Illuvium pretty soon. So that's cool. I'm humbled. It's beautiful. Volker Forged, same thing. Down, sideways. Although technically, high, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low. So it's still in a downtrend, but like not really that hard. So you can also see it as top side of the range, downside of the range. So I know, we'll have to see how it acts once we are here, right? But looking good, right? Ultra, weak, right? Only down, right? There's high, low lows, lower highs after one and another, right? So Ultra, also a project that technically, chart-wise, I would say weak, piece of shit, don't get into it. Chart-wise. But then there's something else. Understand some narratives. So far, it has not been rewarding to invest in Ultra. I did, though. Right? I did. Pretty low. Not here. Luckily, not here. Whatever. Chart-wise, I would say, hey, it was bad. And it was a bad idea. Because in the meantime, I think about it somewhere here and here, by the way. But in the meantime, I'm not making money. Right? And it can go down further because, hey, the trend is the friend until the end of the trend. I don't see an end so far, right? I don't see an end so far. Although this is a bullish pattern. That's usually how it goes. I just love crypto gaming. And I'm being a little biased on this one. So I also understand why people do buy some weaker coins. Because you sometimes just see something in the project that some other people might not see. Right? But chart-wise, technical-wise, it's going against my rules. That's very simple. Saw a cute picture of my son. Solana, this is the outperformer, right? Because again, Bitcoin dominance shows, again, altcoins on their Bitcoin pair should have gone down and then sideways. That's the move. But Solana went down, sideways, right? But after the sideways movement, it went up. So in this period, in the last half year, give or take, Solana has been an outperformer. And that's even when the Bitcoin dominance went flat. Can you imagine what happens if the Bitcoin dominance goes down? If Solana keeps this up, it's gonna fucking rip. Still not buying it. Why? Well, Solana is, where do we have it on its dollar pair? Solana is a little too high for my risk reward right now, but chart wise, it is looking very fantastic. And this is a typical coin that I feel like, nah, it's up too hard. I'm not buying it. And then a week later, it's more up, right? So Solana is something that I missed out on that one. So fuck it, right? Because it doesn't matter because I put that money into something else that I didn't miss out on, right? So it's all good. But hey, if Solana sees a good correction, I'm in. Let me put it like that. But it has to be a really good correction. And a correction that might not happen. But in my opinion, it should go down at least to like $77 or so. That might not happen, right? That might not happen. And in that case, I feel like whatever it might also go to just 120, by the way. But in that case, I feel like whatever. Solana could do a 5x, and I'm happy to miss out on it because it's not that I'm missing out on a 5x. I'm missing out on the 5x with Solana. But I don't care where my money is coming from as long as I'm making it, right? So again, don't get too emotionally attached to coins as well. That's going to wreck you. Now, what is interesting about altcoins, though, is that, again, and this is a little repeating content, this part, but still it is interesting. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is going up, right? And like, yeah, we're going down a little bit right now, but it's not even worth mentioning it. The Bitcoin dominance, it's not that the Bitcoin dominance is going up when Bitcoin is going up anymore, right? If you overlay Bitcoin on this, what do you see, right? Bitcoin, let me put it on a weekly chart right here to make it a little more clear for you guys, right? The candles are the Bitcoin dominance, orange is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin were very correlated right here, right? Up, sideways, the moves were all the same. And from basically the end of last year, the Bitcoin dominance didn't manage to go up even further, right? Well, Bitcoin did a casual 2x, but the Bitcoin dominance didn't give a shit. But now what we see is that once Bitcoin goes down a little bit, the dominance also goes down, right? If you put it on a daily chart, you can see that the dominance has gone down pretty nicely already. So that's indicating to me that the run for Bitcoin compared to altcoins is over right now. We had a big Bitcoin season. Now we have a kind of sideways season, and that can happen for a while. And after that, I do expect an altcoin season. And I don't expect it like this month, next month. I kind of would say my initial expectations were end of the year, but it could happen a little sooner than that. But if you look at others against Bitcoin, so that's the, let me see, that's others against Bitcoin. Yeah, so this is the collective altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair. So like we just showed with like XRP, etc. These are all the altcoins in the top 125, excluding the top 10 on their Bitcoin pair, right? What we see right now is they went down against Bitcoin. And this was also a period where I said like, hey, I'm not buying altcoins. I'm buying Bitcoin though, right? And that really went well because look what altcoins did on the Bitcoin pair. That went down, right? So it was a great move. Now, however, you know, it hit this trend line quite perfectly. If you look at this trend line, it bounced here, beautiful. So now altcoins are going up on their Bitcoin pair, right? Or, you know, for the last couple of weeks, kind of sideways, by the way, but from the absolute bottom in June 2023, they've been going up. We don't have that crazy move yet, though, right? We're seeing kind of like what we saw over here. What we see is we went down, hit the trend line, we went up. Now we're going sideways for a couple of weeks above the bull market support band. So down, up, sideways above the bull market support band. And my expectation is actually that we will see something like this. People will call for an alt season, which is technically an alt season, of course. This was the COVID crash. I don't expect this. We could go down, of course, but not like this if we don't see a black swan. So if we didn't get a black swan, we probably did something like this. Maybe just this, right? And then an alt season. And that's why what I expect later in this year. And altcoins on their, like, I don't know if you watch Benjamin Cohen's channel. He says like, yeah, altcoins are bleeders against Bitcoin in the long term. If you look at altcoins like Aave and DOT and the old coins like that he's always looking at, then yes. But these are not the altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin right now. So why should we buy that crap in the first place, right? If we exclude those, then you get this chart right here. And then you see that altcoins on their Bitcoin pair overall since 2014 are going up. So what I expect is that altcoins on their Bitcoin pair will make a new high this cycle as well. Again, the trend is your friend until the end of it. Well, for the last 9 years, this is the trend, right? So who am I to say that this year this is suddenly going to change, right? So I expect altcoins to go up on their Bitcoin pair, right? At least make a new high. Let's say they do a 2x, which is very conservative. Hey, that's good. Because if Bitcoin does a 3x from here, altcoins make a 3x with it if this stays flat. But if they also do a 2x, then altcoins overall do a 6x, right? So why would we now buy Bitcoin? We can better buy alts, right? And then you want to look at the alts that are strong against Bitcoin. Now, this is also an example, by the way. This is Ethereum. And on the shorter time frame, it's been weak against Bitcoin, right? Lower lows, lower highs. So far, it wasn't a good idea to buy Ethereum because you could have better bought Bitcoin. But also, apart from the chart, you know, Ethereum is Ethereum, right? Ethereum is not some kind of a piece of shit crypto. Well, but it will stay around at least, right? Ethereum is not going away. This is the blue chip. So this has a little more than just charts. Okay. But can we take it like this? Oh, fucking beautiful. Beautiful. Also a little bit concerning that it broke right here though. But Ethereum will at a certain point bounce, right? But so far, it's been a piece of shit. It's been a piece of shit. So what I would say is make sure that you have a good watch list together of altcoins that you like, that are strong. And you can, of course, take your high risk play. Like if you really like quant, you could be like, okay, I'm gonna put a little money into it, but you know, dangerous, right? Or XRP or whatever. Right? But make your list of altcoins that you think are strong, so that if we see a not this kind of whooshy dip like this 10% piece of crap dip, right? Like this is nothing. If we see a normal correction of 30-40%, right? That you, because these things happen fast, make sure that you have your list and be like, okay, no panic, no emotions. Let's take a look at the list. This is what I'm buying. Done. Simple. Because otherwise you have to think about it and it's gonna cost you time. And again, like if you look at these dips right here, especially most of them are on a wick basis, as you can see. So this happens in a matter of maybe an hour, maybe faster, or day, whatever. But if you happen to be asleep or whatever, then you miss it, right? So you don't have time to think about it. So make sure that you have your list ready and, you know, turn off your emotions, have cash on the sideline, obviously, and just buy those dips. Very simple. If you do that, then you're going to be totally okay. If you want to buy these altcoins, there's a Bybit link down below. We're going to do some giveaways in the future. All you have to do is just sign up, deposit $100, trade right there. I mean, if you want to buy altcoins anyway, might do it there, right? So fuck his link. Like, let me chill that like everybody else does, right? But we all need it anyway. But that's how I would prepare, right? And be a little bit careful with buying dips too soon. Some people would say, look at Beam, for example, and it went down with 15%. Well, that's a reasonable dip, by the way. But some altcoins went down like 8%. And people be like, oh, let's buy. So far, that's been working out. But at a certain point, like I said, we will get normal dips, bigger dips, right? The 30-40% dips. You don't want to buy every 8% in that case, right? You don't want to find out that you feel like, oh, you know, look at this chart. If you see how parabolic this thing is going, right? You don't want to be like, yeah, let's buy the dip here. And then it does this. And you buy the dip. And then it does this, right? And then you buy the dip. Maybe sometimes but that depends on how much exposure you already have to that coin. Like, for example, I have a good beam back on way lower prices. So for me, it can go all the way down here. And then I feel like, okay, let me buy that dip. For now, I'm not doing much. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not buying, not selling. I'm just, you know, working, making a income and make sure that I'm prepared for when a real dip occurs. right? And if it doesn't, hey, cool. If it goes up, I'm riding my backs up again. I'm especially not leverage trading right now. Okay, market is volatile, right? Overall, the expectation for Bitcoin to go up is very high, right? Bitcoin will look. I mean, if you look at this chart right here, you know this is how Bitcoin moves, right? We're now here. We're not even at the mid band, let alone the higher band that we always go to, at least near, in a bull market. So we have a long way up, I think. That doesn't mean that I'm longing right now, right? Because there were also people in for example, this bull market that felt like, oh, you know what, Bitcoin, we have a long way to go. Let me put in a long, and then you get this 40% correction. Yeah, if you long on a 3x down under the 20%, high liquidation, right? Like that's not what you want. So be a little careful with that. This video took quite long. I don't know. Let me know. Do you like the longer videos or the shorter videos? Sometimes I just have a lot to say, and sometimes it's over very soon and you get rid of me again. So let me know what you prefer, and I will try to adjust the content to that. For now, please like the video. I'm going to wrap it up. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. Check out the Patreon down below for exclusive sales. Alex Becker's wallet tracker. One-on-one content, exclusive. Did I say exclusive videos? They are also there. Take care. See you guys tomorrow.